Hello everyone, myself Gayatri Srinivas Garas. I am from BVCOW TIT student. Today I will be introducing you to Data Science Unit 6, that is a classification model, along with my teammates. Those are Vedanti, Rajeshwari, Nikita, Janavi, Anuja and Achal. In this unit, we are going to explain you about different classification models which will help you in better understanding of these models. Thank you.
Good evening, friends. This is your friend Vedanti Chinsamalatpure, and today we are going to study an important topic, that is decision trees. Today we will see a step by step approach to build decision trees. Let us start by knowing what is a decision tree. Decision trees are non parametric, supervised learning methods that are used for classification and regression. The goal is to create a model that predicts the value of a target variable by learning simple decision rules inferred by the data features. Decision trees are commonly used in operation research and specifically in decision analysis or to help identify a strategy most likely to reach a goal. But they are also popular tool in machine learning. The picture here depicts decision tree. The top node is a father node or a root node, and the bottom nodes are the children nodes. Next slide. Okay. So let us study what are the types of nodes. Decision tree can be classified into three basic nodes: root node, intermediate node, and leaf node. The very top of a tree is called as root node or just root. It is the node that starts the graph. In a normal decision tree, it evaluates the variable that splits the data best. The nodes in the between are called internal nodes or intermediate nodes. These nodes have arrows pointing towards them and away from them. Intermediate nodes are the variables that are evaluated but are not final nodes where the predictions are made. The last one comes leaf nodes. The end of the nodes are called leaf nodes or just leaves. Leaf nodes have arrows pointing to them, but they don't have arrows pointing away from them. These are the final nodes of a tree where the prediction of a category or numerical values can be made. Here in the diagram, red color represents root node, whereas white color represents intermediate node, followed by green node used to represent leaf node. Have a look at the diagram for a second, then we will move further. Next slide. Now let us see building a decision tree. We have several algorithms to build a decision tree. In this chapter, in here we will focus mainly on two types. That is classification and regression tree and iterative diagrammatic tree. Next slide. CART, that is classification or regression tree. It is a it is a decision tree algorithm that produces binary classification or regression tree, depending on whether the dependent, that is target variable, is categorical or numerical, respectively. It handles the data in its raw form. That is, we don't have to pre process the data. And it can use the same variable more than once in different parts of the same DT, which may uncover complex interdependencies between the set of variables. Here, here we can see the difference between ID3 and CART. Let's move to ID3 so that we get a clear picture of what CART variable and ID3 is. The process of building a decision tree using ID3 algorithm is almost similar to using CART algorithm, except for the method used for measuring purity or impurity. The metric used in ID3 algorithm is to measure purity is called entropy, sorry. It is called entropy. And The formula for entropy is given on the screen. Entropy. Now let us see what is entropy. Entropy is actually a way to measure the uncertainty of class in a subset of examples. Assume that an item belongs to a subset S having two classes, positive and negative. Now, entropy is defined as the number of bits needed to say whether the class X is positive or negative. Entropy always gives a number between 0 and 1. So, if a subset formed after separation using an attribute is pure, then we will be needing 0 bits to tell if it is positive or negative. If the subset formed is having equal number of positive and negative items, then the number of bits needed would be 1. So here we conclude our decision tree topic. We further move to MCQ sections. Here you can test your knowledge. Read the question once. Okay, let's discuss the questions. As we discussed before, we know that decision tree is a graph model of it is like a graph model where we include the chance of event outcomes, resources, costs, and utility. So the answer here is A, decision tree. Next, what is a decision tree? As we discussed, decision tree is a flowchart or structure or a pictorial representation in which internal node represents test on an attribute. Each branch represents the outcome and leaf node represents the evaluated data which we can also say as class labels. So here the answer is C. Next question is, choose from the following that are decision tree nodes. As we studied before, the types of nodes of a decision tree are decision nodes, end nodes, chance nodes. Here, decision nodes are the nodes of, we can say root nodes as decision nodes, end nodes means child node, and chance nodes are intermediate nodes. So all of the nodes A, B, and C are nodes of decision tree. So the answer is D. All of the mentioned above nodes are decision tree nodes. Next question. Just a second. Okay. Which of the following are advantages of decision tree? Now to see it to see it a bit more, advantages of decision tree can be, we can use white box model if results are provided by a model. Worst, best, and expected values can be determined. Possible scenarios can be added. So I can see all of the options correct here. So the answer is D. Next question is, which of the following algorithm are not an example to assemble learning algorithm? Here the correct answer is option D, gradient boosting. To remember, read the to remember point. Decision trees don't actually aggregate the result of multiple trees. So it is not an assemble algorithm. To conclude what we studied, decision trees are algorithms that are simple but intuitive. And because of this, they are used a lot when trying to explain the result of a machine learning model. Despite being weak, they can be combined, giving birth to bagging or boosting models that are very powerful. I hereby conclude by saying thank you.
Hello everyone. Myself Rajeshwari Chillage and I am from IT department of PVCOEW. Today we will be discussing about the topic classification and regression trees. So let's begin. Classification and regression trees is a term used to describe the decision tree algorithms that are used for classification and regression learning tasks. The classification and regression trees is also known as CART, was introduced by Leo Bremen, Jeremy Friedman, Richard Olshan and Charles Stone. The classification and regression trees methodologies refers to two types of decision trees, the classification trees and the regression trees. A classification tree is an algorithm where the target variable is fixed or categorical. The algorithm is then used to identify the class within which a target variable would most likely fall. Example of classification type problem would be determining who will or will not subscribe to a digital platform. This example is of simple binary classification where the categorical dependent variable can assume only one of the two mutually exclusive values. In other cases, we might have to predict among the number of different values. For example, when you have to predict which type of smartphone or consumer may decide to purchase. This is another example of the classification trees where the population is classified under male and female depending upon the height and the weight. So the first parameter, height, if is greater than 180, then we classify them into male, and if not, then we use the parameter weight, and then if weight is greater than 80, we classify them into male, and if not, into the female. The regression trees. A regression tree refers to an algorithm where the target variable is continuous and the algorithm is used to predict its value. Example of regression type problem is to predict the selling price of the residential house, which is a continuous dependent variable. When to use the classification and regression trees. So depending upon the response variable, we choose whether to use the classification or the regression trees. The classification trees are used when the response variable is fixed or categorical and the dataset needs to be split into the classes, while regression is used when the response variable is continuous and we need to predict the value of the variable. In other words, regression trees are used for prediction type problems while classification trees are used for classification type problems. How classification trees and regression trees work. A classification tree splits the dataset based on the homogeneity of the data. Say, for instance, there are two variables, income and age, which determine whether a customer will or not buy a particular kind of phone. If the training data shows that 95% of the people who are older than 30 bought the phone, the data gets split there and the age becomes the top node in the tree. This makes the split 95% pure. The measures of impurity like entropy or Gini index are used to quantify the homogeneity of the data when it comes to the classification trees. In a regression tree, a regression model is fit to the target variable using each of the independent variables. After this, the data is split at several points for each independent variable. At each such point, the error between the predicted values and the actual values is squared to get a sum of squared errors. The sum of squared errors is compared across the variables, and the variables or the point which has the lowest SSE is chosen as the split point. The working of the CART is shown in this diagram. The decision trees can be used for two purposes: to classify and to predict. If while using the classification purpose, the response variable has two categories, then we use the standard classification tree. And if the response variable has multiple categories, then we use the C4.5 implementation. While predicting, the response variable is continuous, and if there exists a linear relationship between the predictors and the response, then we use the standard regression tree, and if not linear, that is if there exists a non-linear relationship between the predictors and the response, then we use C4.5 implementation. This is all about the classification and the regression trees. Now let's see some MCQs. The first MCQ: splits in the classification and the regression trees are typically created on terminal node, leaf node, decision node, none of the above. The answer to this MCQ would be the decision node. The splits are in the classification and the regression trees, and in general the decision trees are created on the decision node. Which of the following processes is followed to fit the decision tree to the predictor's information and not to the noise? Splitting, pruning, recursive partitioning, and overfitting. So the answer for this MCQ is pruning. Pruning is a data compression technique that is used to fit the decision tree to the predictor's information. CART algorithm can be used for classification task only, prediction task only, both classification and prediction tasks, neither classification nor prediction task. As we know, the name CART itself tells us that it is classification and regression trees used for the classification and the prediction tasks. So the answer would be both classification and prediction tasks. The final nodes of a decision tree corresponding to the final groups into which the p-space of predictor values is partitioned are termed as A leaf node, B decision node, C root node, D parent node. The answer would be A leaf node. Which of the following criteria is used to decide which attribute to split next in a decision tree? A Gini index, B information gain, C entropy, D scatter. For the split in the decision tree, the criteria are Gini index, information gain, and entropy. Scatter is not a criteria that is used to decide the attribute to split next in a decision tree. So the answer is option D, scatter. So thus, the classification and the regression tree methodologies are one of the oldest and most fundamental algorithms used to predict the outcomes based on certain predictor variables. Thank you.
Good morning, myself Baravi Nikita Nitin. My topic is Hypothesis Space Search in Decision Tree. So here is the representation of a decision tree. A decision tree is a flowchart-like tree structure where an internal node represents the feature or attribute. The branch represents a decision rule, and each leaf node represents the outcome. The topmost node in the decision tree is known as root node. So here the outlook we can see in the diagram is the root node in a decision tree. Now the appropriate problems for a decision tree learning. Instances are represented by attribute value pairs. Now there is a finite set of attributes. Example, suppose we have a hair color and each instance stores a value for that attribute. For example, the red color, etc. So when each attribute has small number of distinct values, it is easier for the decision tree to take a useful solution or to reach to a useful solution. So the next is the target function has discrete output values. So a decision tree classifies each example as one of the output values. The simplest case exists when there are two possible values. Example, Boolean classification. However, it is easy to extend the decision tree to produce a target function with more than two possible output values. Although it is less common, the algorithm can also be extended to produce a target function with real output values. The third one is disjunctive hypothesis descriptions may be required. Decision tree naturally represent disjunctive expressions. The training data may contain errors. So errors in classification of examples or in the attribute values prescribing those examples are handled well by decision tree, making them a robust learning method. The last one is the training data may contain missing attribute values. So decision tree methods can be used even when some training examples are unknown. For example, humility is known only for a fraction of the examples. Then the ID3, the basic decision tree learning algorithm. ID3 algorithm stands for Iterative Dichotomizer 3, is a classification algorithm that follows a greedy approach of building a decision tree by selecting a best attribute that is maximum information gain or minimum entropy. For ID3, we perform the following steps. We calculate the information gain of each feature. Considering that all the rows don't belong to the same class, we split the dataset S into subsets using the feature for which the information gain is maximum. We make a decision tree node using the feature with the maximum information gain. So here we can see the outlook. It has the maximum information gain. If all the rows belong to the same class, make the current node as a leaf node and with the class as its label. Repeat for the remaining features until we run out of all the features or the decision tree has all the leaf nodes. Now what is hypothesis space search in a decision tree? Hypothesis space search, that is hypothesis space, is all the possible combination of distinct trees. For example, if we have chosen to represent our function to be a linear line, then all the possible linear lines which go through the data makes up our hypothesis space. Now the search method for hypothesis space search is, it is a simple to complex hill climbing search and there is no backtracking. The evaluation function for this is information gain measure. ID3 uses all the training examples at each step to make statistically based decisions. The search is less sensitive to the errors in individual training examples. Now we have inductive bias in decision tree learning. So the kind of necessary assumptions about the nature of target functions are subsumed in the phrase inductive bias. So ID3 inductive bias, shorter trees are preferred over longer trees. The trees that place high information gain attributes close to the root are preferred over that do not have. Now why do we prefer short hypothesis? Occam's razor prefer the simplest hypothesis that fits the data. Scientists seem to do that. That is, for example, the physics seem to prefer simple explanation for the motion of planets over more complex one. There is an argument that since there are fewer short hypotheses than long ones, it is less likely that one will find a short hypothesis that coincidentally fits the training data. Now there is a problem with this argument also. It can be made about many other constraints. Why is the short description constraint more relevant than others? But nevertheless, we have that Occam's razor was shown experimentally to be a successful strategy. Now we have the issues in decision tree learning. The first one is overfitting the data. Now if you depend too much on the training data, there is a possibility that the tree will go into overfit. Now that is, a particular hypothesis will work on the training data, but it will not work on the distinct or the real world data. So such a particular tree is called as overfitting. So the overfitting can be addressed with the two possible things. That is, one is called as reduced error pruning, and the second one is the post pruning. The second issue in the decision tree learning is incorporating the continuous valued attributes. The decision tree works well for the attributes which are finite, that is, which have discrete possible solutions. But if an attribute has a continuous values, then we cannot apply the decision tree. Such attributes which have the continuous value, we need to convert them into discrete possibilities, and then only we can apply the decision tree learning. The next issue is alternative measures for selecting attributes. So in a decision tree, we use the information gained for selecting the different attributes. So while calculating the information gain, we give more importance to the values which have a common class. So this is a kind of bias in decision tree. The next issue is handling training examples with missing attribute values. So decision tree algorithm works well with the data which has some sort of error. But if we want to use a decision tree for a missing values, which a data which has some missing values, we need to fill those data with the proper values, and then we can use the decision tree. The next issue in the decision tree learning is handling attributes with different costs. Whenever we apply the core decision tree, each and every attribute is given the equal importance. But sometimes what happens that given a problem definition has some attributes with the high importance. So this we cannot use in core decision tree. So to handle this, we have to do some kind of calculations where the attribute having more importance has to be given the more weightage. So this is not considered in the decision tree. That is the core decision tree. So that's all about the hypothesis-based search in decision tree. Thank you. So we'll see the multiple choice questions on hypothesis-based search in decision tree. The first question is how the decision tree reaches its decision. So the options are single test, two test, sequence of test, or no test. The answer is C. A decision tree reaches its destination by performing a sequence of tests. In a decision tree, the internal nodes represents the test on an attributes. The leaf are the class label and the branches are the outcome. The second question is what takes input as an object described by a set of attributes. The options are tree, graph, decision graph, and decision tree. The answer is D, because decision tree takes input as an object described by a set of attributes and returns a decision. The next question is what will happen if the hypothesis space contains the true function. The options are realizable, unrealizable, or both, and the last option is none. So the answer is B. A learning problem is realizable if the hypothesis space contains the true function. Yes, and for example, in statistical hypothesis, we have it on the observed data, so that is the realized value. The next question is which is used to choose among the multiple consistent hypotheses. The options are Razor, Occam-Razor, learning element, and the last option is none of the mentioned. The answer is B, that is Occam-Razor. As we have seen earlier, Occam-Razor prefers the simplest hypothesis consistent with the data intuitively. So the last question is concept learning is inferred as which value function from training examples of its input and output. The options are decimal, hexadecimal, Boolean, or all of the above. And the answer is C, that is Boolean. Concept learning is called as a learning task in which the human or the machine learner is asked to classify the objects on the basis of the some examples. So the learner just simplifies what he observed in an example. So that is why the answer is C, that is Boolean. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Janvi Sharma from Computer Department of Bharatiya Vidyapeeth College of Engineering for Women. My topic is Bayes theorem and working of new Bayes classifier. Moving ahead, the first question which comes to our mind is when to use this. So the answer is Bayes theorem is used to find the reverse probability if we know the conditional probability of an event. So for this we must know the term conditional probability. Conditional probability is defined as the likelihood that an event will occur based on the occurrence of the previous outcome. What is Bayes theorem then? Bayes theorem in probability theory is a mathematical formula used to determine the conditional probability of events. Essentially, the Bayes theorem describes a probability of an event based on the prior knowledge of the conditions that might be relevant to that event. Given below is the formula. But before that, we must know that what is its use. So besides statistics, the Bayes theorem is also used in various disciplines with medicine and pharmacology as the most notable examples. In addition, the theorem is commonly employed in the different fields of finance. Some of the applications included, but are not limited to the modeling the risk of lending money to the borrowers or forecasting the probability of the success of an event. So moving to the formula, as given, the PA by B is the probability of event A occurring given that B has already occurred. PB by A, which is the numerator, is the probability of event B occurring given that A has occurred. PA, that is P of A, is the probability of event A, and similarly P of B is the probability of event B. Noted that the events A and B are independent, that is, the probability of the outcome of event A does not depend on B, and similarly with the case in B. A special case of the Bayes theorem is when event A is a binary variable. In such a case, the expression is expressed in a different way. This is the theoretical part that we have to remember that when to apply the Bayes theorem. So these are some of the points. Now, what is Naive-Bayes classifier? This article means this part, that is Naive-Bayes classifier, are a collection of classification algorithms based on the Bayes theorem. It is not a single algorithm but a family of algorithms where all of them share a common principle. What it means is that is every pair of features being classified as independent of each other. Here one example I have taken that we have classes associated with the animal types. So I have taken 3 animals of my choice, that is parrot, dog and fish. So here basically we have started with the predictor features, that is set of 4 features I have taken, that swim, wings, green color, dangerous teeth. So the first part what we have done is these all 4 features are categorized, that is swim, wings, green and similarly the later parts. Now what we see that the table which we have seen, it shows the frequency of our data. That is the first section of the parrot, that the parrots have 50 value for the swim, that is 10% parrots can swim according to our data. Coming to the second class, that is animal type dog, shows that 450 out of 500, that is 90% can swim. Subsequently, dogs, that is 0%, for wings they have 0%, so they can't swim, they are not green in color, but they have dangerous teeth. Okay, coming to the third part, that is classes with the animal type fishes. What they show, that is 500 out of 500 can swim, and later parts are that they have wings, 100 fishes are of green color and 50 out of 500 dogs have dangerous teeth, but that is not the case with the fishes. So these are what the data based records what we have seen is. So by the predictor class, what we can come to the point is we have to predict animal type using the feature values. Those were the features that if these features, that is if the swim matches most to which of the category or which of the class of the animal, so by that data we can decide that the animal is dog or a fish or what? Dog or a fish or a parrot. So this is a very simple part by which we can test that is an animal is a dog or a fish or a parrot. For the hypothesis, for example, we have seen here, that is we have considered the first record, that is the evidence here is swim and green. The hypothesis can be animal type to be dog, parrot or fish. For testing this hypothesis, testing for the animal to be a dog, we have applied the formula of the Bayes theorem and we come to the answer, that is 0. So this was the explanation part through the example. Now this is the advantage and disadvantage. That is, we know that naive-Bayes algorithm is fast, highly scalable algorithm in any of the problem, and especially the last point which is written here, that for a small data set it is very simple to apply naive-Bayes algorithm. Now for different problems, that is for different approach of problem, we can apply different types of naive-Bayes algorithm like Gaussian NB, multinomial NB and Bernoulli NB. It is simple algorithm that depends on not doing a bunch of counts like we have seen. Great choice of text classification problems. It's a popular choice for small email classification, that the problem we face nowadays. So this is a popular choice for our spam email classification. So coming to the disadvantage, that it considers all the features to be unrelated, so it cannot learn the relationship between the features. That we have seen different features we had taken and they do not match each other. And the example, a short example is given here. Let me read out this for you. Let's say Remo is going to a part while clothes selection for the party. Remo is looking at his cupboard. Remo likes to wear a white shirt. In jeans, he likes to wear brown jeans, but Remo doesn't like wearing a white shirt with brown jeans. Naive-Bayes can learn individual features important but cannot determine the relation. Like in this, we have seen that he has a different choice for the for shirt and different choice for the jeans. So it does not determine the relationship among the features. So these are some practice numericals. Directly we have applied the Bayes formula, Bayes theorem. So these are some of the problems with their explanation. Coming to the multiple choice question and answers. So the first question here is, what terms are classified for building a Bayes model? So any guessings? Yes, and you're right. It's 3. That is, the 3 required terms are a conditional probability and 2 unconditional probability. So the answer is C, that is 3. Question 2 is, which of the following is the consequence between a node and its predecessors while creating Bayesian network? So this is a straightforward answer, that it is the consequence of a conditionally independent node. So the answer is A. Coming to the third question, that why it is needed to make a probabilistic feasible why it is needed to make probabilistic systems feasible in the world? The answer is, on a model-based knowledge provides the crucial robustness needed to make the probabilistic system feasible in the real world. As we have seen that the Bayes rule can be used to answer the probabilistic queries conditioned on one piece of evidence. So the answer is crucial robustness. Bayes rule can be used for answering the probabilistic query like we have seen in the previous question. And the explanation to this is very clear, that if a Bayesian network is a representation of the joint distribution, then it can solve any query by summing all the relevant job entries. Fifth question is, what provides way and means of weighing up the desirability of goals and the likelihood of achieving them? So the answer is utility theory. Coming to the last question, which of the following provided by the Bayesian network? So it is complete description of the domain. Thank you for lending your crucial time to this. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Anuja Bhosle and I am from third year IT department from BVCOW. So today we will discuss about types of neo Bayes model and then we will discuss some MCQs. So first is, what is neo Bayes classifier? A classifier is a machine learning model that is used to discriminate different objects based on certain features. So a neo Bayes classifier is a supervised learning algorithm that learns the probability of an object with certain feature belonging to a particular group. So for example, if you are trying to identify a fruit based on its color, shape and taste, then an orange color, spherical and tangy fruit would most likely to be an orange. So neo Bayes classifier are a collection of classification algorithms based on Bayes theorem. It is not a single algorithm but a family of algorithms where all of them shares a common principle, that is every pair of feature being classified is independent of each other. Then where we can use neo Bayes classifier? So first in a spam classification, where given an email and classifier predict whether it is spam or not. Then in medical diagnosis, where given a list of symptoms, it predict whether a patient has disease X or not. Then in weather, so based on temperature and humidity, it predict if it will rain tomorrow or not. Then Bayes theorem. So Bayes theorem is based on conditional probability. So conditional probability is a measure of the probability of an event occurring given that another event has occurred. So the formula can be read as probability of A occurring given evidence B has already occurred is equal to probability of B occurring given evidence A has already occurred into probability of A occurring divided by probability of B occurring. Then types of neo Bayes model. So there are three types of neo Bayes model. First is multinomial neo Bayes model, then Bernoulli neo Bayes model, and then Gaussian neo Bayes model. So the first is multinomial neo Bayes model. This is mostly used for document classification problem, that is whether a document belongs to the category of sports, politics, technology, etc. The feature or predictors used by classifiers are the frequency of the words present in the document. So suppose we have a text document and if I want to find a particular word in that document, so it's easy to find, but when I want number of occurrences of that word in the given text document, that time we use multinomial neo Bayes. So multinomial neo Bayes uses term frequency, that is number of times a given term appears in a document. After normalization, term frequency can be used to compute maximum likelihood estimates based on training data to estimate the conditional probability. So this model works well for data which can be easily found in counts such as word count in text. So in multinomial neo Bayes, multinomial distribution is important. So multinomial distribution is represented by this formula. Probability of capital X1 is equal to small x1, then capital X2 is equal to small x2 up to capital Xk is equal to small xk, which is equal to n factorial divided by small x1 factorial, small x2 factorial up to xk factorial. The whole term is multiplied by probability of 1 raised to x1, then probability 2 raised to x2 up to probability k raised to xk. So here capital X is represent number of occurrence of outcomes and k represent the number of outcomes, n represent size of random sample, then and the p which represent our probabilities. Suppose from an Indian survey we take a probability of a people having blood group O, A, B and AB, and make a summarized data in table format. So here first row of blood group represent possible outcomes, and second row of probability which represent the probability of outcome 1, which is 0.44, which is related to O, then 0.44 which is related to A. Then we take 6 Indians as a random sample, okay, and we have to find what is the probability that in the given random sample where one person having O blood group, then remaining 2 having A blood group, remaining 2 having B, and 1 having AB as a blood group. So when we have these types of combined probability, and we have to find a discrete count where the data in a discrete nature related to each outcome, then we use multinomial distributions. So put this data into formula. So here capital X1 is a random variable which represent number of occurrences. So capital X1 is related to blood group O. Capital X2 is related to A, then capital X3 is related to B, and capital X4 related to AB. And then capital X1 is equal to 1, and capital X2 is equal to 2, capital X3 is equal to 2, and capital X is equal to 1. So these 1, 2, 2, 1 are the discrete counts which are given. So which is equal to, so equal to n factorial means our random sample size is 6. So 6 factorial divided by all the discrete counts with factorial. So 1 factorial, 2 factorial, then again 2 factorial and 1 factorial, and this whole term is multiplied by first probability with discrete count as 1, then second probability with discrete count 2, then third probability 0.10 with discrete count 2, and 0.04 raised to 1 as a discrete count. So when number of occurrence, number of people, number of frequency or number of count we have, then we have to use multinomial distribution. So then next is a Bernoulli-Neve Bayes model. This is similar to the multinomial Neve Bayes, but the predictors are Boolean variables. The parameters that we use to predict the class variable take up only values yes or no, true or false. For example, if a word occurs in the text or not. So in Bernoulli-Neve Bayes, the Bernoulli distribution is important. So here we take success and failure as a binary variable. So here we have two assumptions, that probability of success, which is denoted by P, and probability of failure means Q, which is denoted by 1 minus P. Suppose we take a capital X as a random variable, and when X value is 1, it signifies success, and when capital X is equal to 0, it signifies failure. And we declare random variable capital X has a Bernoulli distribution. So from this statement we can derive one formula. So here X can take only two values, 0 or 1. So the probability of capital X is equal to 0. So we take X as a 0. So probability of capital X is equal to 0 is equal to probability of P raised to 0 into 1 in bracket 1 minus p raised to 1 minus 0. So p raised to 0 becomes 0 and 1 minus p raised to 1 minus 0. So it becomes 1. So the RHS part becomes 1 minus p. So we prove that 1 minus p means q and q means failure. So it is proved that when the x value is 0, it is proved that it is failure. Then we take x value as 1. So probability of capital X is equal to 1, which is equal to p raised to 1 into in bracket 1 minus p bracket raised to 1 minus 1. So p raised to 1 means p, and then in bracket 1 minus p raised to 1 minus 1 means 0. So the whole terms is cancel and only the remaining term is p. So it is proved that when capital X value is 1 and value 1 means it is a success, and which is denoted by p. So here we can see that a probability of capital X is either p or q. So when p when x value is 1 and when q the x value is 0. So the next is Gaussian naive Bayes. So in Gaussian naive Bayes, continuous values are associated with each features are assumed to be distributed according to a Gaussian distribution. When plotted, it gives a bell-shaped curve which is symmetric about the mean of the feature values. Other functions can be used to estimate the distribution of the data, but the Gaussian is the easiest to work with because you only need to estimate the mean and the standard deviation from your training data. So next we can see Gaussian distribution. So the Gaussian distribution, when suppose when your focus is on discrete terms, then we cannot use the Gaussian distribution. When the features or variables are continuous in nature, then we can use Gaussian model. So we can also call it as a Gaussian distribution as a normal distribution. This distribution is depicted by this bell-shaped curve. So this is represented by PDF. So PDF means probability distribution function. So PDF for given random variable x, which is ranging from minus infinity to plus infinity. So while implementing Gaussian distribution, we have to focus on three important parameters. The first is mu, means mean. Then second is sigma square, means variance, and then this square part is, then the square root means standard deviation. So this graph is best example of with formula and with continuous nature. So this horizontal line and vertical lines which represent mean, and on iris dataset we can apply this model which contain continuous variable. So conclusion. So naive Bayes algorithm are often used in sentiment analysis, spam filtering, recommendation system, etc. They are quick and easy to implement, but their biggest disadvantages is that the requirement of predictors to be independent, such as we can see that discrete, continuous or binary. So then in most of the real life cases, the predictors are dependent. This hinders the performance of the classifier. So the next we will see the MCQs. So the first is examples of naive Bayes algorithm. Then the first option is spam filtration, sentimental analysis, then classifying articles, and all of the above. So these all three are the examples of naive Bayes algorithm. So the correct option is D. Then second is the benefit of naive Bayes. The first option is naive Bayes is one of the fast and easy ML algorithm to predict a class of dataset. Then it is most popular choice for text classification problem. Then C, it can be used for binary as well as multi-class classification. And D, all of the above. So these all of the above are the benefits of naive Bayes. So the correct option is D. Then third one, the binomial model is useful if your feature vector are, first option is binary, then discrete count, then continuous, and none of the above. So the binomial model means Bernoulli distribution. So in Bernoulli distribution we can use binary type. So the correct option is A, binary. Then dash dash provide three naive Bayes implementation: Bernoulli, multinomial, and Gaussian. So SCI Kit-Learn is the Python library which provide these three naive Bayes implementation. So the correct option is B. Then fifth one, the dash dash classifier is suitable for classification with discrete features. So the first option is Gaussian naive Bayes, then Bernoulli naive Bayes, then multinomial naive Bayes, and all of the above. So we can see in multinomial naive Bayes the discrete counts are there. So the correct option is C, multinomial naive Bayes. Then sixth one, if x is a random variable Bernoulli distributed, it can assume only two values 0 and 1. So we can see that in Bernoulli distribution it can take binary variable is at least at 0 or 1. So it true. So the correct option is A. Then seventh one, the dash dash probability can give us the probability of an event using the prior knowledge of, first option theoretical probability, experimental probability, then axiomatic probability, then conditional probability. So we can see conditional probability. So conditional probability can give us the priority probability of an event using prior knowledge. So the correct option is D. Then 8, naive Bayes model are fast and easy to implement, but their biggest disadvantages is that the requirement of predictors to be independent. So the correct it's true. So the correct option is A. So thank you. I hope you are understand all the concepts. Thanks for watching.
Hello, my name is Achal Sanjay Dudbhate from ENTC department of BVCOW College. Today my topic is advantage, disadvantage and application of Navy bias model. First we see Navy bias of theorem. Theorem is it is a classification technique theorem with an assumption of independence among predictors. In simple terms, a Navy Bayes classifier assumes that the presence of particular features in a class is unrelated to the presence of any other feature it. Next slide. Navy Bayes formula is the Bayes theorem provides a way of calculating posterior probability P of C by X from P of C, P of X and P of X by C. Look at the equation below. P of C by X equals to P of X by C into P of C upon P of X. P of C by X equals to P of X1 upon C into P of X2 upon C up to P of Xn upon C into P of C. Next slide. Above P of C upon X is a posterior probability of class in bracket C target given predictor X attributes. P of C is a prior probability of class. P of X by C is the likelihood which is the probability of predictor given class. P of X is the prior probability of predictor. Next slide. Advantages of Navy bias model. First is a Navy bias. Navy bias is suitable for solving multi-class prediction problems. Second, Navy bias is suitable for solving multi-class prediction problems. Third is if its assumption of independence of feature holds true, it can perform better than other models and requires much less training data. Fourth advantage is Navy bias is better suited for categorical input variable than numerical variables. Next, disadvantages of Navy bias model. Navy bias first First disadvantage is Navy bias assumes that all predicts or features are independent, rarely happening in a real life. This limits the applicability of this algorithm in real world use cases. Second disadvantage is its estimates can be wrong in some cases, so you should not take it probability outputs very seriously. Third disadvantage is this algorithm faces the zero frequency problem where it assigns zero probability to a categorical variable whose category in the test data set was not available in the training data set. It would be best if you used some smoothing technique to overcome this issue. Next, next point Next point is a application of Navy bias model. First application is learn a more machine learning algorithm. In this, Navy bias is a simple and effective machine learning algorithm for solving multi-class problems. It finds uses in many prominent areas of machine learning applications such as sentiment analysis and text classification. Second application is text classification. In this, most of time, Navy bias finds uses in text classification due to its assumption of independence and high performance in solving multi-class problems. It enjoys a high rate of success than other algorithms due to its speed and efficiency. Third application is sentiment analysis. One of the most prominent areas of machine learning is sentiment analysis, and this algorithm is quite useful there as well. Sentiment analysis focus on identifying whether the about a certain topic, product, and service. Next slide. Next point is multiple choice question and answer. First MCQ is First question: which of the following is correct about the Navy bias? For option A, assume that all the features in a dataset are independent. Option B, assume that all the features in dataset are equally important. Option C, both. Option D, all of the above. Answer is both. Next question is Navy bias algorithm is a dash dash learning algorithm. First option is supervised, second reinforcement, third unsupervised, fourth none of these. Answer is A, supervised learning algorithm. Question 3 is a type of Navy bias model. Option Gaussian, second multinomial, third Bernoulli, fourth is all of the above. Answer is all of the above. Type of Navy bias model is a Gaussian, multinomial, and Bernoulli. Question number 4. Disadvantages of Navy bias classifier. First is a option 1. Navy Bayes assumes that all features are independent or unrelated, so it cannot learn the relationship between features. Second option is it performs well in multi-class prediction as compared to the other algorithms. Option third, Navy Bayes is one of the fast and easy ML algorithm to predict a class of dataset. And option 4, it is the most popular choice for text classification problems. Answer is A. Disadvantages of Navy Bayes classifier is a Navy Bayes assumes that all features are independent or unrelated, so it can learn the relationship between features. Question number 5, dash dash provide three Navy Bayes implementation: Bernoulli, multinomial, and Gaussian. Option: Ten, TensorFlow. Second, Scikit learn. Third is a Keras. Fourth is a SciPy. Answer is B. Ski, Scikit-learn provide three Navy Bayes implementation: Bernoulli, multinomial, and Gaussian. Thank you.